This is America's Forum on Newsmax TV. I'm J.D. Hayworth.
And I'm John Bachman. J.D., Boston officials have increased public safety measures for the final 2 miles along the Boston Marathon route. They did that starting Monday, actually the race takes place this coming Monday. The marathon comes a year after 2 explosions rocked the finish line and the city of Boston, killing 3 people and wounding more than 260 others. The mayor says more undercover officers will be stationed along the route, and authorities have installed over 100 cameras and 50 observation points to help monitor the crowd. This increased security comes on the heels of a man being arrested for bringing a hoax explosive device to the finish line on Tuesday.
The anxiety level goes up when an unattended backpack is left on the street. So I think it really set the tone last night how important it is to ask you not to bring those type of items.
Well, officials are urging, as you heard there, spectators, leave your backpacks, strollers, and other large items at home. Of course, the big question is, how can you keep 26.2 miles safe? And joining me right now to talk about that, among other things, maybe Boston-focused, is Howie Carr, Boston Herald columnist and radio host for WRKO. Great to see you, Howie.
Good to see you guys.
It is great to have you back in studio, Howie, and we will get to some of the political intrigue in your latest column for the Herald a bit later. But let's revisit this topic of the marathon, because it is such a big story. And last week we got together to commemorate, sadly, an infamous anniversary of last year's attack. I'm just wondering, has the Globe moved in now to characterize the man with the hoax as being misunderstood or in need of help? Have they played the sympathy card?
Well, J.D., it's good that you asked that question. You know, on his Facebook page, he lists himself as a drag queen. So I think, you know, the Globe's going to have a lot of sympathy for him going forward. And again, I mean, yeah, they're already making excuses for this guy. I don't know if you've seen you saw the pictures of him dressed up in like a beekeeper's outfit. I called him the beekeeper of death. And he took off his shoes and he was running down the street saying, "Boston strong, Boston strong." And and the excuse was, well, he's off his meds. He didn't take his meds for a few months, so you really can't hold him responsible. But they had to shut down the Green Line again. You know, the city was in turmoil, not for long, but it's just totally unnecessary. I think they have to throw the book at one of these guys sooner or later. You know, this isn't the first performance artist who's plunged the city into turmoil, and you know, not just the Tsarnaevs who actually committed a crime, but there was some guys put these hoax devices.
Well, I remember the signs misunderstood post 9/11 for one of my favorite cartoon shows, Aqua Teen Hunger Force. They were placed around town, and people thought it was some sort of signal. Yeah. Which is just and the whole notion.
And that guy later gets a city contract to do sculpture, more performance art on first night, the big New Year's Eve celebration. I mean, it's like he was rewarded for causing chaos in the city. I mean, so it's, at what point do you say you're going away for 5 years? I mean, if you go into a bank and you give the teller a note and you say, "I have a gun," it doesn't matter if you have a gun or not. You know, you're charged with armed robbery. This guy had a pressure cooker. Why not? You know, the same kind of pressure cooker that these people used to kill Americans last year at the marathon.
Is this atmosphere of indulgence or rationalization ever going to leave the opinion pages or the notions of the elite in New England?
I don't know, JD. I'm with you. After 9/11, I thought people were going to wise up, but it never happened. And you know, now we've talked about it before, but they described first the Boston Globe describes the Tsarnaev brothers, the guys who actually killed the people last year at the marathon, as homegrown terrorists. This week, the New York Times picks up that word, homegrown. They're not homegrown. They're from Dagestan. They came over here as political refugees. They said they were being oppressed in the Russian Republic. And guess what? They were the older brother, Tamerlane, was going back there for 6 months to learn his terrorist tricks.
And that gets us to a point, Howard, that we wanted to discuss a little bit too, because you mentioned the Tsarnaevs have committed a crime here, and that's certainly the case. They've been charged officially with crime, but really this is JD, you said that an act of war, perhaps,
is.
and this is really the first terrorist attack led by Islamist extremists on U.S. soil since September 11th here, but nobody's really talking about that aspect of everything.
Well, I think again that gets back to the state-run media, as Rush Limbaugh calls it. You know, I mean, again, if you call them homegrown terrorists, then they're no different than that crazy redneck in Kansas City last weekend, right? They don't want to admit that they have this problem, and the problem continues to grow when you basically have open borders, and it's becoming more and more of a scam to claim political refugee status. I mean, even Mexicans now know that that's the best way to do it. You say you have refugee status, they'll just continue the case. It's, as Michelle Malkin says, it's not over till the illegal alien wins.
And Howie, it's not only those traditionally on the left. Of course, Jeb Bush, with his statement a couple of weeks ago that immigration, and blurring the term, it's implied illegal immigration is an act of love. And then yesterday on the air here with us, George F. Will saying that, again, immigration, blurring the line, is an act of entrepreneurial endeavor.
Well, crime is an entrepreneurial endeavor, isn't it?
That's my point too. Yeah.
You know, I don't see they're entrepreneurs in the sense of taking advantage of the American system, and it's just it's ridiculous. You know, we had a case last week or 2 weeks ago. Two Boston firefighters were killed in a blaze in the Back Bay that was set by welders. The welders had set the place on the townhouse on fire. Well, there are a lot of rumors going around now that the welders were actually illegal aliens. They didn't have a permit, and but you know, again, the cone of silence has descended. You know, you can't say, oh, we can't say these are illegal aliens. We can't even find out who they are. I have a feeling if they were from South Boston, we would know their names.
So here we have Orwellian newspeak to the point where those ostensibly on the right and left choose to eliminate words from the vocabulary. But there are also some interesting things going on in terms of politics in the Bay State. And the woman, it is rumored, who may actually challenge Hillary Clinton for the Democrat nomination for president. Tell us about your column yesterday.
Senator Elizabeth Warren, you know, claimed that she was an Indian. She was going nowhere in the academic field until suddenly she started checking the box, and suddenly within 10 years she had gotten tenure at both the University of Pennsylvania Law School, Ivy League, and at Harvard Law School, Ivy League. And so it turns out she really has no Indian heritage.
And we should point out this would be Native American rather than the Asian subcontinent.
Yes,
American Indian.
Yes,
she claimed.
So she said, well, my parents told me I had high cheekbones. And that's how she knew this.
So you've decided to flip over the cards about 30 seconds. What's your column today say?
I said, you've got your new book out. You're complaining about how people treated you badly. We'll never treat you badly again if you will just take the DNA test. I'll take a DNA test. You take a DNA test. We'll see who has more Indian blood in them, me or you,
And in
Senator.
this day and age of Obamacare, you're actually willing to pay for her test.
I am indeed. I am indeed.
Talk about participatory
And
journalism.
she can pick the one. There are several different versions on the internet. You know, she can pick the brand she wants.
Well, there you have the challenge and the insights of our good friend Howie Carr. Howie, as always, thanks for checking in.
Thank you, JD. Thank you, John.
Great to see you in studio, Howie. We'll be back with more here on America's Forum. What do you think? You think Elizabeth Warren will take that DNA test? We'd love to hear from you. Write into us on social media. Find us on Twitter at NewsmaxTV. The hashtag is America's Forum. We're back with more right after this.